afternoon. This is Arshia Agarwal.
This is Apeksha Priya. Welcome to CityCast.
We hope you had a great Diwali.
Now, staying in the festive hues, we start with the bulletin.
For our first story we have, all that glitters is gold for jewelers this festive season. Our reporter Snehisha tells us about the gold sales in the city.
Sales of gold jewellery and coins has increased by 35 to 40% since last year, bringing back cheer among jewellery stores. Their footfalls have also gone up by 40% as compared to last year.
The crowd what you are seeing today is more than the normal crowd what we get comparatively. In this Dhanteras, we are getting a lot of customers, like our footfalls will be from 250 to 350 numbers.
Prices of gold have reduced by almost 18% since January this year. This, coupled with jewelers providing attractive offers and discounts, has encouraged more people to throng to jewellery stores and buy gold this year.
Today is Dhanteras and it's an auspicious day, hence I've got gold.
According to the Confederation of All India Traders, gold sales across the country touched 75,000 crore rupees, with almost 15 tons of gold being sold, a 20% increase as compared to Dhanteras last year.
Have the numbers been better than last year?
Yeah, exactly. Now his business is good. Target and everything we are achieving.
In addition to buying physical gold, people are also holding gold virtually through sovereign gold bonds to a volume of 32,000 crore rupees and through gold ETFs. Diwali also marks the beginning of the wedding season. Hence, jewelers are optimistic about sales figures rising further. This is Snehisha reporting for CityCast.
The demand for firecrackers is high despite increasing pollution. Our reporter Omkar Meher tells us more.
This festive season has been more profitable for the firecracker vendors compared to last year.
The demand is there for firecrackers. Demand is there. Public children are waiting, celebrating and bursting crackers. Scientifically, what you find in medical, what you find in crackers is nothing but a medicine. In most part of Karnataka, they will not take bursting crackers. They say burning medicine, Madhya Soda.
Generation is spending around 500 to 600 daily on firecrackers.
I know. Means we are bursting traditional crackers once a year, no. So it will not cause too much of effects to the nature.
Deadly chemicals are released in the air when these crackers are burst, and they stay there in the winter season due to thermal inversion. These harmful chemicals, once inhaled directly, go to the bloodstream.
And the bees will do the pollination job. So if the beetles, bees and the butterflies do a great job of pollination. So if the pollinators population comes down, who will do the pollination? Where do we get our fruits?
In order to save a few pennies, people are buying traditional crackers or green crackers. This is Omkar Meher reporting for CityCast.
Homeless people have no shelter in the rains, and with winter arriving soon, our reporter Prantika Ghosh tells us about government-run shelter homes in the city.
Supreme Court order says it is mandatory to have one shelter for every lakh. With Bangalore's population around 2 crore, the city need at least 200 shelters. But only 7 shelters are working with half of its capacity of inmates.
55 member is living there, madam. Capacity 80 is there. 73 member is enrolled.
A survey by Impact India states that out of 5,000 homeless in Bangalore, 1,500 are women. However, there is only one shelter for women and no shelter for disabled people.
Disability, no shelter and all. We put in the common shelters, ramp, hand grip, different toilets, no facilities there. They are facing a lot of problems.
Every 4 to 5 months, NGOs conduct campaign to create awareness, whereas no initiative has been taken by the government. Moreover, the inability to read Kannada makes the shelter less accessible to these homeless people.
कन्नड़ मालूम होगा, जिनको पढ़ने के लिए, बोलने के लिए तो नहीं, जिनको पढ़ने के लिए मालूम होगा वही यहाँ तक आ पाएंगे.
4 months in a row after BBMP promised to build more shelters, nothing has come up yet.
We are searching for the buildings of vacant lands. We are seeing the new shelters.
NGOs are still struggling to help these homeless people, with government constantly delaying the tender for more shelter in the city. I'm Prantika Ghosh reporting for CityCast, Bangalore.
The number of patients with OCD is increasing. Our reporter Maitri Seth tells us more about it.
Psychotherapists in Bengaluru observe that body-focused repetitive behaviors including nail biting, hair plucking and scratching have become more common, causing a 50% increase in the last 5 years. These behaviors often turn into OCDs that act as a major distraction in daily lives of such patients.
Even I, like many others, have a habit of nail biting, and I realized that it's becoming obsessive and it's also harmful for my health. So I decided to control it. But during the pandemic, especially when I was stressed, I used to do it more frequently than before.
Research from Indian Journal of Psychiatry states that around 33% of the students in primary schools show such behavioral patterns that are severe enough to turn into OCDs if not controlled. Psychotherapists say that ignoring such behaviors is not a safe option as it may cause several psychotic disorders, sometimes as severe as self-harm.
They did not control at earlier stages, that's why they have ended up in these disorders. So definitely we should be checked, because around 90% of the people, whichever disorder we take it, OCD is the culprit.
Therapists also mention that modern lifestyle factors like excessive consumption of sensitive information on internet and limited interaction with family increase stress, triggering fearful memories in many. This shows an increase in such repetitive behaviors that turn into OCDs, sometimes causing these psychotic disorders.
In order to avoid that negative memory, they involve in certain kind of behaviors. Another reason is definitely your work pressure. Relationship problems have increased. It becomes a trigger for them.
The experts say that proper counseling and cognitive therapy are the solutions to this. They also suggest that parents shouldn't ignore such habits in children and deal with them as early as possible to avoid any need of medical assistance. This is Maitri Seth reporting for CityCast.
We will be right back after a short break. Stay tuned to CityCast. Welcome back to CityCast.
Now we look at mental health. Our reporter Arshia Agarwal tells us how an increase in the use of internet for work and pleasure leads to addiction.
The number of people coming up for consultation regarding internet addiction related concerns has increased, especially from 2012. While pre-COVID saw 5 to 6 cases per week, post-COVID the cases have doubled to 10 to 12 per week.
I keep checking social media or something else on my phone again and again. And when I'm not near my phone, I start feeling very anxious. I don't know why.
A study by National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences shows that college students experience 11.8% higher rates of mental health issues due to internet addictions arising from social media platforms, OTT platforms, and even work-related things. The uncontrollable use of internet leads to issues like anxiety, depression, and stress.
When you're more into internet addiction, obviously the factors is like anxiety, stress, and the person can face panic.
The reason behind addiction includes the desire for love among many, which they fulfill from social media, using it as a coping mechanism. Dr. Manoj says there is increasing evidence that increasing internet addiction can affect one's brain functioning as well, and it needs to be controlled before getting out of hand.
Awareness should come at each level of public interaction. School level, workplace level, the family level.
The research indicates that easy access and less parental supervision among college students is leading to more and more usage of internet facilities. This is reporter Arshia Agarwal reporting for CityCast, Bengaluru. Wholesalers not updating taxes on GST portal on time has an impact on retailers. Our reporter Reema Bansal tells us how.
Retailers face delays since the process takes a long time, causing their funds and working capital to freeze. A shop owner in Commercial Street says he didn't receive the partial refund amount of Rs 10,000 on his purchase of Rs 10 lakh from the GST department due to the delay in update by the wholesaler on the GST portal.
इसमें काफ़ी दिक्कतें हो रही है क्योंकि रिफंड का प्रोसेस है काफ़ी लंबा है उसमें हमें पैसे लेने में नेक्स्ट मंथ लग जाते हैं.
The delay is because the wholesalers are not filing their GST returns on schedule.
टाइम से अपडेट करने की कोशिश करते हैं पर कभी-कभी फंड्स की कमी या अकाउंट्स पूरे ना होने की वजह से या कभी अकाउंटेंट बीमार हो जाता है इस वजह से हम कर नहीं पाते.
Chartered accountant says they receive at least 10 complaints that the wholesaler have not filed the returns. Retailer can claim the GST refunds only before the end of the fiscal year annual tax filing deadline. But most retailers don't file cases against the wholesaler as they don't want to ruin their business relationship.
Sometimes the GST number of the buyer is also suspended and he's also levied with heavy penalties from the department. He also has to pay interest along with penalties to the department.
GST department say we only received one case via mail last month and will charge the person accordingly. Experts say adding another option to allow the retailer to file the bills on GST portal will help in mitigate the loss.
Problems faced by the buyer can be minimized if the GST department gives him an opportunity to upload the bills which he has received from the seller onto the GST portal while filing his GST returns.
The retailers are hoping for a way out through which they can avoid financial problems such as freezing of working capital and paying penalties. This is Reema Bansal reporting for CityCast.
Drivers do not maintain lane discipline. Our reporter Hitesh Raj finds bus lanes are used by all.
Police say every day 400 vehicles violate the rule and 200 vehicles are booked. Commuters say it's very difficult to travel in this narrow road. People face difficulties traveling, that's the reason we use bus lane.
So this bus lane what we have proposed here, basically it is the first of its kind in Bangalore. Where it was initially it started from Silkboard Junction to KR Puram. This route was chosen because this is a highly densely populated area in terms of vehicles.
Drawbacks are the width of the road is very narrow.
We are entering, like all the public including me, we will enter to the bus line because of the width of the road which is shorter, and also like some people will be in a hurry, I mean to go early or fast, they will take the bus line.
Mithali Krishnaswamy, experts say government needs to widen roads so commuters can travel fast without violating the rules. Bus lanes are done to help commuters travel fast so that they use bus more often and it reduces pollution as well. This is Hitesh Raj reporting for CityCast.
There is an increase in demand for animal-assisted therapy. Our reporter Ahana Prakash tells us more.
National Center for Biotechnology Information says that animal-assisted therapy is growing in India. Animal-assisted therapy centers in Bangalore are also seeing an increase in number of clients for over a year.
Earlier, not many people knew about this, but now more people are coming for therapy sessions. People can feed, play and interact with animals. They even get their children who are autistic or are suffering from any chronic disease. There has been an increase of 40% in number of clients in the past 1.5 years.
Many patients suffering from mental illness are opting for pet therapies. This has increased in the lockdown, and now more people are adopting therapy pets. Therapy pets are specially trained animals that help someone recover from or cope with health problem or mental disorder.
My therapist recommended me to adopt a therapy cat, and it has helped me a lot in reducing my panic attacks. It also helps me a lot in channelizing my emotions well.
Psychologist Neha Singhal says that there should be more awareness amongst people regarding animal-assisted therapy. It is different from having a pet at home. Animal-assisted therapy is a specialized therapy with medical professionals. This is Ahana Prakash reporting for CityCast, Bangalore.
We will be right back after a short break. Stay tuned to CityCast. Event places in Bengaluru are still struggling financially. Our reporter Aditya Pandey brings you the story.
Art theatres and restaurants that host open mic, slam poetry and other such events are still struggling financially even after being allowed to run at full capacity.
The entire cafe was there, so around 3-4 people were in the cafe as well. So right now it's just me and my colleague who's full-time into it and another colleague who works part-time. So it's practically 2.5 people working now from a team of, let's say, around at least 8 to 10 people before.
Some of these places have come down to 10 to 15 shows a month, from 30 to 40 shows, on a fear that they might have to shut down if they won't overcome the financial loss.
To close up because we are paying a very heavy rent over here. We are right in the heart of Bangalore. Because it's a huge challenge to close and then reopen and start from ground zero again.
Experts say that it will take time for things to get better, but with India reaching 100 million vaccination, it is possible now.
While thinking of better future, we can think of revival of artistic plays as people are now vaccinated and going out.
Financial crisis and reducing number of events has also affected the mental health of artists. This is Aditya Pandey reporting for CityCast.
Counterfeit cosmetics products are still used even if they are harmful for the skin. Our reporter Apeksha Priya tells us what the impact could be.
There are more than 50 carts on Commercial Street which sell duplicate cosmetic products. As the products are cheap, people buy them.
I don't think many of us have an option since the original products are costly. When we see those products on the street, it kind of attracts us and we end up buying it.
A branded CC cream can cost up to Rs 350. Here on Commercial Street, vendors are selling it for Rs 150 at most. These cheap products come at a high cost. Customers who buy it suffer from skin issues.
All these cosmeceuticals which we dispense being dermatologists, the concentration of that varies quite much. With any vitamin C which we give as dermats, it will be minimum of 6 to 20%. Quite a good possibility that it will not have the concentration of the ingredient which it needs to have, and how they are deriving it, how stable it is. Stability of the product also matters a lot.
With these products in demand, people usually turn blind eye towards the side effects. This is Apeksha Priya reporting for the CityCast. There has been an increase in the demand for organic food. Our reporter Rakshita Kumar brings you the story.
Indian Organic Food Federation reports that Bangalore has seen a rise by 30% in organic food industry since 2020. Bangalore-based organic food companies such as Organic Tattva, Organic 24 and Healthy Buddha had an increased sales by 30 to 90% from December 2019 to the end of 2020.
So my family started having more organic fruits and vegetables because of the pandemic. We were told that it is important to take care of our health during the pandemic, and organic fruits and vegetables are good immunity boosters.
There has been a growth since 2020 pandemic as people became health conscious and consumers began to buy more organic food as a preventive health measure. The benefit of organic food is that they are free from toxic pesticides and synthetic fertilizers.
So after COVID, we have a very good online customer base. Most of them they vacated from Bangalore as it's a work from home. So it is slightly impacting our business.
Many NGOs are employing farmers and working towards increasing the organic farming in the state.
Presently, 100 farmers, organic farmers. We are working with the 2007. We provide vermicompost units and capacity building.
The demand for organic food has also been backed up by the government as there are certain schemes for farmers to cultivate in the organic way and helps them to use new techniques. This is Rakshita Kumar reporting for CityCast.
The transgender policy is still not implemented in the state. Our reporter Arunima Bharadwaj tells us why there is a delay.
Transgender community says they are not able to avail facilities meant for them as the transgender policy is not implemented. These include housing, old age homes, scholarships and many more.
There is no housing for the transgender community. And also, when it comes to the business, they have to start their own business. Don't get any kind of supporting.
The transgender community has been struggling from past few months and has given several proposals, but the authorities keep postponing the meetings.
Regularly, we will go to them and we will ask what happened to transgender policy. You have to implement and all those things. We'll say we will call the meeting next month. Again, they don't call us.
The Department of Women and Child Protection says that they are working to devise a plan for a survey soon. Experts say without implementation, a policy makes not much sense.
So I believe that those kind of welfare measures are needed, but we need to look into more of an inclusion and empowerment measures where their access to job and education is very, very important.
With no implementation of the transgender policy, the trans community still struggles for a proper representation and accessibility to facilities. This is Arunima Bharadwaj reporting for CityCast.
So that is all for today's bulletin.
Keep watching CityCast for more news.